Have you ever gone silent on someone and wondered what's really going on in their head? You can feel a shift, a change in their energy, but you're not quite sure if it's working. Well, the truth is, your silence is a lot more powerful than you might think. When you stop talking, their mind can start to spiral. But let's get one thing straight. This isn't about giving someone the silent treatment to punish them. Using silence to intentionally punish or control someone is a destructive form of emotional abuse that shatters trust. This is about something different. This is about strategically withdrawing your energy to reclaim your own peace of mind. It's about understanding the psychological ripple effects that happen when you stop playing your part in a dynamic that's draining you. When you create that space, you interrupt a pattern they've come to expect, and their reaction can tell you everything you need to know. We're going to break down the psychological stages of what happens when you go quiet, and how that sudden void can make a fragile ego feel a profound loss of control. This isn't about revenge. It's about recognizing the power you hold when you choose to protect your own energy. By the end, you won't just understand what they might be thinking, but why your quiet strength is the best strategy for getting your own sense of self back. In most unhealthy dynamics, there's an exhausting, predictable cycle. They provoke you, and you react. They do something to get a rise out of you. You respond with anger or frustration, and the loop continues. As draining as this is for you, it gives them a steady supply of validation and a sense of control. Your reaction, good or bad, is fuel. It tells them that you're emotionally invested and that they have the power to affect you. When you suddenly go silent, you're not just refusing to talk, you are pulling the plug on the whole show. Psychologists call this a pattern interrupt. You've abruptly cut off their fuel supply. The script they've been following is suddenly useless. There's no argument to win, no drama to stir up, and no tears to dismiss. There is only a void where your reaction used to be. This is deeply disorienting for a person who relies on external validation. Their ego, which was propped up by your engagement, is now on shaky ground. This is where we often see something called psychological reactance. The theory suggests that when people feel a freedom is being taken away, in this case, their freedom to get a response from you, they have a strong motivational drive to get it back. This isn't always because they miss you, but because they may crave the sense of control or predictability your attention provided. Your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to face the dynamic without the distortion of your emotions. They are left alone with their own behavior, and for many, that is an incredibly uncomfortable place to be. Before we go any further, we need to draw a very clear line in the sand. Taking healthy space for yourself is completely different from using the silent treatment as a weapon. Intentionally ignoring someone to punish or control them is a form of emotional abuse that creates anxiety, breeds resentment, and erodes the foundation of any relationship. Healthy communication involves expressing your need for a pause, like saying, "I'm too upset to talk about this right now. I need some time to cool down." What we're talking about here is choosing to disengage from a toxic or pointless cycle for your own well-being. It's a conscious boundary set to protect yourself. It's not about punishing the other person. It's about prioritizing your own peace. When your silence comes from a place of genuine self-respect, not as a calculated move to get a reaction, it carries real power. The goal isn't to win some imaginary game, but to step off the playing field entirely. It's about observing the situation from a distance and making decisions from a place of clarity, not chaos. This kind of silence is a statement that your mental and emotional health are no longer up for debate. It's a profound act of self-love, and any fallout for the other person's ego is just a side effect of you taking your power back. If you're finding this breakdown helpful, and you're ready to master the art of protecting your energy, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. I share insights like this every week to help you navigate complex relationships with strength and clarity. And I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever used silence to step away from a toxic dynamic? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story could empower someone else. When you withdraw your energy, the person who is used to your reactions might start showing a range of behaviors that hint at their internal struggle. These aren't definitive signs that their ego is collapsing, but they are potential clues that your absence is being deeply felt. Think of them as nonverbal signs that the dynamic has shifted. 1. Restless and fidgety body language. You might notice they seem anxious or unable to settle, especially in public. This can look like pacing, constantly checking their phone, or fidgeting. The disruption of a familiar social pattern creates deep uncertainty. They're waiting for a cue from you that isn't coming, and this unresolved tension can manifest as physical restlessness. Their inability to be still shows that your calm has unsettled theirs. 2. Shifting eye contact, from avoidance to staring. Eye contact is a powerful window into someone's internal state. At first, they might avoid your gaze, a common reaction to discomfort. But as your silence continues, this can shift dramatically. You might catch them staring from across the room or making quick, repeated glances your way. This isn't necessarily about romantic longing. It's about monitoring. They're trying to gather information and figure out your emotional state since you're no longer providing it verbally. These glances are attempts to regain a sense of control by observation, revealing that your absence has made you the center of their focus. 3. A closed-off or hunched posture. Body language often shows what words try to hide. A person struggling with your silence might adopt a more closed-off posture, arms crossed, shoulders hunched, or their body angled away. This is often an unconscious attempt to shield themselves, signaling defensiveness and emotional distress. This posture could suggest they're grappling with cognitive dissonance, the mental conflict of wanting to maintain their ego while simultaneously feeling the impact of your withdrawal. 4. The rise of nervous, self-soothing habits. Look for an uptick in nervous habits like lip biting, face touching, or fiddling with their hair or clothes. These are often unconscious, self-soothing behaviors people use to manage anxiety. When your silence removes the external source of conflict they were used to, their internal anxiety can spike. These little gestures are their body's attempt to find comfort in a situation where they feel a distinct lack of control. 5. Lingering in your proximity without approaching. One of the most telling reactions is when they start showing up in places you frequent but keep their distance. They might hover at the edge of your social circle or position themselves where you can see them, but they won't make a direct approach. This behavior is a great illustration of psychological reactance. The urge to restore their access to you is strong, but the fear of your response creates hesitation. They're testing the waters, hoping their presence alone might be enough to draw you back in. 6. Visible physical stress responses in unexpected encounters. If you run into them unexpectedly, you might notice an immediate, involuntary stress response. This could be a flush in their face or neck, dilated pupils, or even a slight sheen of sweat. These are not physical withdrawal symptoms from you, but rather signs of general autonomic arousal, the body's response to a sudden high-stress situation. Seeing you completely calm and composed can be jarring, and their body might betray their internal turmoil. 7. Sudden grooming or preening behaviors. When some people sense they've lost control of the emotional dynamic, they pivot to what they can control, their physical appearance. You may notice them suddenly putting more effort into how they look, especially if they know you'll be around. This can include sudden preening behaviors like adjusting their clothes or checking their reflection when they see you. This isn't just about impressing you romantically. It's an attempt to reassert their value and attract attention. Any attention. To feel validated again. It's a subtle admission that their self-esteem has taken a hit, and they're trying to rebuild it externally. Ultimately, the power of silence isn't about causing an ego to collapse. It's about the quiet, unshakable strength you build in yourself when you decide your peace is non-negotiable. Using silence as a manipulative tactic is a destructive game. But choosing to withdraw your energy from a dynamic that drains you is a profound act of self-preservation. When you go silent, you're not giving them a punishment, you're giving yourself a gift. The gift of clarity, emotional freedom, and self-respect. Their reactions, the anxiety, the confusion, the desperate bids for your attention, are not your victory. They are simply the echoes of a broken dynamic that you are no longer a part of. The real win isn't watching their ego crumble. It's the realization that you no longer need to. Your focus has shifted from managing their emotions to mastering your own. You have learned that your energy is a precious resource, and you are now the one who decides who is worthy of it. Let your silence be a testament not to their weakness, but to your newfound strength. Let it be the space where you rebuild yourself on your own terms.